blame it on Igbos. Doesn't it sound familiar? Doesn't it take you back to 1966 when Nigerian army officers planned a coup to make Nigeria a better place? The coup ultimately didn't succeed, and Nigeria's bigots, led by Fulanis at the time, but now they found a companion in Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his operatives. So now, just like in 1966, they've run a government of genocide against Nigerians, mostly Christians, but generally against liberal-minded Nigerians, be them Muslim or Christian. And finally, Donald Trump decides that enough is enough. But instead of calling an emergency meeting and addressing the problem, Bola Ahmed Tinubu's way of addressing the problem is to unleash Bayo Ononuga and his propaganda machine and try to pin it on Igbos as the ones who lobbied Donald Trump to make the threat against Nigeria. I honestly wish Igbos have that kind of clout, and we really need to develop that kind of clout as Igbos, where we could lobby not just Washington, but also Downing Street and governments across the world to deal with the bigotry of administration after administration against Igbos and Christians in Nigeria. A few weeks ago, I did an episode where I said that the Igbo killings and the Christian killings are synonymous, and that many Muslims killing Christians are seeing Christians as synonymous with Igbos, because to them it's Igbos who mostly practice Christianity in their regions and convert their people to Christianity. Some disagreed with me, but this lady on the left, she's House of Fulani, doesn't matter, but she's spewing venom against Igbos about Igbos being responsible for Trump's declaration on Nigeria, but also saying that Igbos are so irrelevant in Nigeria, why don't they go? And my question is, why don't your freaking government let Igbos go? Igbos are sick and tired of Nigeria. We don't want to be there. Let us go and keep your freaking country to yourselves. When Igbos leave, we're going to sit on the side in our country and watch you kill yourselves. The honeymoon and the lovey-dovey relationship that the West is having with the North, the day Igbos leave, they are going to start killing themselves. You write it down. The man on the right is a man from Benue. And to the bigots in Nigeria, and this lady, that man is an Igbo man. That man categorically said he supports Trump bombing Nigeria, and he categorically stated the name of the U.S. House of Rep member who he worked with, who called him when the Trump's declaration was going to come down to tell him we've done our job. Trump is going to declare Nigeria a country of concern. And he's a Benue man, not an Igbo man. The point is that I categorically support him because none of you are in his shoes, you bigots. None of you have had your people killed to the tune of his people who have been killed. And your election stealing president went there after his people were killed. And his solution to the problem is, if they want land, why don't you just share the land? Why do you have to keep the land to yourself? That's Bola Ahmed Tinubu's solution to herdsmen killing people in Benue State. I'll let you listen to the lady and listen to the man, then I'll come back.
Biafra wants to go, Biafra wants to go. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Have 5 of your states in this country. Lead by example. Leave those shops of yours, leave those buildings of yours, go back to your state and start developing it. If you are serious. Develop your state, develop your political system. Stand today and get people in the House of Representatives who would hear your voice and see if every Nigerian will not let you go. What benefit are you to us? You only leech on us in this country. We from the northern Nigeria can boldly say we have gained something from the southwestern part of Nigeria and the south-south. We collectively, Dangote today is established in northern middle belt of this country in Kogi State, and it's also established in Lagos. That is mutual benefit. When it comes to political movement, we from the north unite. Even when Tinubu's people did not vote him, the northerners vote until Tinubu could find himself in power today. We allow the people from the north, from the south to come to our state and invest freely. We allow them for growth. Of course, we do have conflicts once in a while, but the fact and the statistics of reality is here. Come and see them all over our places. doing fine, doing well, establishing themselves, houses, schools, and all that. People from the Southwest. We provide food. We provide food. We are the leaders in terms of agriculture in this nation. We provide food and we take it to the West. And the South, majority of the food that's consumed in this nation comes from North. I want to ask a question. What is you people's benefit? What is it about you that if you go today, we're going to miss? What is it about you we're going to miss? Is it your importation business that involves so much exploitation? Is that what a Hausa man cannot do or a Yoruba man cannot do? I want to ask you a question. Do you have oil? You don't. It is the South and the Niger Delta area that have oil. And they don't even give us headache like the way you do. They cooperate with us. They do everything with us. What is you people's problem? How you talk about because your resources. What resources do you have? You've been leeching off of everyone. If the Yorubas are talking, if the Niger Deltas are talking, yes, we can hear, but not you guys. What do you have to offer to Nigeria that we cannot offer ourselves? Okay, let's say we feed this country, yes, because of our flat lands, because of our agricultural prowess. You decide, okay, we'll stop feeding, we are going to feed the rest of the country. Can you do that? Can you, for example, do what the Yorubas are doing? Can you give us what the Yorubas are giving us? What are you giving us except what destroys our economy, which is importation? What are you giving us? So what's actually your pride? What is it? Because you have not found somebody who tells you the truth. What is your pride in this country? What is your pride? The fact that you leech off other people? The fact that we allow you to buy lands in our areas? Allow you to establish businesses that you grow out of it? And yet you're even too afraid to go back to your states. And yet you keep making noise every single day. If you are proud of who you are, start making your move now. Start making your move now. It's not about just disturbing everybody with noise and making fun up and down the place. See, it's about to go down. It's getting more serious every day. It's getting more serious every day. If you think you're going to creep up into the division of this country, we've gotten to know who you guys truly are. We're going to deal with it. We might not be able to deal with America fully, but you see those ones at home, you are an assignment we have put in our front.
We might not be able to deal with the Americans, but you see these ones at home, we are having an assignment. This is the word of this woman. This you Igbos, you elites of the Igbos, the leaders of the Igbos, the political class. How do you feel when you hear the end of this video? Make this video go viral. Let every other Igbo person see it. I know that there are plans. She said it here now. She's saying it here now. She's saying it now. Police cannot arrest her. Nothing can happen to her. But everybody will close their ear now over it. I pray their plans don't stand over Igbos.
I like that last section. The reason is that both the man you're going to hear next and the man who talked at the end of that lady's video, none of them are Igbos. They are just stating facts. But Nigeria's bigots, Tinubu's gang of bigots, don't like facts. They have this obsession with Igbos, people they can't compete with. I didn't say Western Nigerians cannot compete with Igbos. I said that Tinubu's bigots cannot compete with Igbos. And the only way they can survive is to connive, to frame every bad thing that happens in Nigeria to become an Igbo issue. The day they go back to school and stop being thugs and go back to school and learn skills, they'll find skills to make a living and stop depending on government handouts and subsidies. The only way they can survive in Nigeria, because they can't compete against the Igbos that they always try and frame. The next guy to speak is the main person whose speak is driving bigots crazy, and they're framing him as an Igbo man. The man is from Benue. His people have gone through hell. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done nothing to help his people. So he has the right to say everything he said against this administration. But again, Tinubu's bigots can't stand the truth. And to make it worse, they're going to frame whatever anybody says to be Igbos. It's IPOB. What about all the other agitating groups? Guys, this is sickening.
Oh my God, so I'm very excited, very, very excited that President Trump has finally designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. You see, on Tuesday this week, Tuesday, October 28, 2025, around 11 a.m. Oklahoma time, that's Central Standard Time, United States, I got a call from Justice Sutherland, the policy advisor to the senior senator from Oklahoma, Senator James Langford. That's one of the signatories to Senator Ted Cruz's bill. The message was just simple and direct. Frank, can you write a reminder to the letter sent to this office to be forwarded to the Department of State? So the Department of State, that is the office of the Secretary of State of the United States, Marco Rubio, was asking for a reminder because they don't want to act so motu. They want to act as a response to a call made by Nigerians. So I wrote that letter immediately and sent to the office of Senator James Langford. That was on Tuesday, October 28, 2025. And today, which is Friday, October 31st, 2025, by 12:29 p.m., Jesse Sunderland, the policy advisor to Senator Langford, called me. And his message was just direct. Hold on, the senator wants to speak with you. And Senator Langford was like, Frank, the president has just designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. So I want to thank all those Nigerians who have been advocating for this, starting with my bishop, the bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Makurdi, Bishop Anagbe, and all the Reverend Fathers of Benue origin in the United States here, and very particularly to the guys at Equipping the Persecuted, very great man, Judge Saul, who has been there for Nigerian persecuted Christians, the guys at Truth Nigeria, Doug Barton, who himself was a former staff of the State Department, and Mike Arnold, and of course all the senators and the House of Rep members. You know, Trump has officially designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, which was our call. When Yerwata happened on June 13 and 14, I told myself that Yerwata would be the catalyst for a lot of things to happen to shake the very foundation of Nigeria in the war against terrorism, especially Fulani terrorism and the genocide against Christians in Nigeria. Yerwata served as a catalyst. The killings of 13 and 14. And so I want to say, my kinsmen in their graves, they'll be happy that the world is taking an action over the genocide that has happened. But very importantly, we so much desire this country of particular concern designation because it will change a lot of things. First of all, a lot of people were asking the implications. I've said it in several of my videos. There'll be trade embargo in Nigeria, there'll be arms. They are not doing anything with the arms. They are giving arms to soldiers, and soldiers are just shooting in the sky anytime these Fulani come to kill people. Nigeria have been crying for Tucano all this while. They've given Nigeria the Tucano US, and they've done nothing to stop this. Okay, if you go through Trump's statement very well, he say, I'm hereby designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern, and that is the list of it. Observe that he say, and that is the list. The list is the designation. The most important thing is what comes on after this designation. These guys have the list of all those guys who are doing these things. They will freeze their account. They will place a travel ban on them. They will freeze their assets all over the world. They will go after them. And when it is becoming too hot, they will intervene directly themselves, the way they release some stuff to Iran. So the way the Air Force base is just right here where the two B-2 Spirit bombers are. It's just right here. And then they will go after their transaction, their financial transaction, because most of those guys, they transact with the American dollars and they transact using Visa card and MasterCard, and so it goes to American financial institutions. They have the names of these people. These people are in the federal government of Nigeria, the sponsors of this Fulani jihad, the genocide in Nigeria. They are in the state government as governors. They are amongst the traditional institutions, from the top echelon of the Islamic traditional institutions in Nigeria to the Emirates, all the emirs, all these chiefs around in Nasarawa state are also involved. So the United States, so every patriotic Nigeria, those of us who call for this designation are the most patriotic Nigeria, because we want a solution. The solution was at hand and the government could not use it for political correctness, still protecting the sponsors of these killings. So right now with this designation, it is a notice to the entire world that genocide of Christians is happening in Nigeria. And other countries in the European Union, the United Kingdom, and Canada will also act. So we are very happy with this designation. And right now, after this designation, we are going to continue following this matter to make sure that the other repercussions are put in place. Sanction of these guys, blocking their accounts everywhere, freezing their assets, naming them, and possibly arresting them in some other countries. So we will not relent. We want to thank everybody involved in this. We want to thank all the priests, the pastors, the religious leaders, the political leaders who were able to be brave enough to call for this. And I'll just tell you that, look, the entirety of this designation did not come so moto by President Trump or Ted Cruz just doing it on their own. It came because of our cries. And the cries continues until when the sponsors of this terrorism and genocide are all arrested and put in prison, and then our people are made to return back to their ancestral land and claim their homes and live in peace and worship in peace. That is the list of what we're saying. So when President Trump is saying this is the list, the designation is just the list, there are a lot of things coming. The sponsors should brave up. They should brace us. There are a lot of things coming. This is just a list according to President Trump. Some of us know the list. And finally, you know, these people will be talking in Nigeria. They thought they are deceiving the United States, but they are deceiving themselves. You find these people say, no, Nigeria, there's nothing like Christian genocide going on. There's peace, there's this, there's that. Look, the United States is the compendium of every intel happening in Nigeria. Everything happening up to your house, those guys have the information. For goodness sake, you are using their technology. You are using the phone. You are using the SIM card that has the chips. You are using electronic passport, e-passport, satellite imageries. You think those of you, the sponsors, you think you make secret calls by making encrypted calls through WhatsApp? They own the WhatsApp. They own the messenger. If you want to use even satellite phones, they own it. They own this technology. They know all these things. So you begin to deceive yourself that, oh no, this is not happening. They know all these things. I've sat down with many of them. I've heard them inform me about Nigeria to the extent that I never knew Nigeria existed that way. So once again, we want to thank President Trump very well. We want to thank everybody involved in this. Bishop Anagbe of Makurdi Diocese, equipping the persecuted, Judge Saul, Mike Arnold, Doug Barton, Emmanuel Ogebe, my guy Steve Enada in Atlanta, you know, the Igbo veterans in the Nigerian, in the American service, you know, they are known as AVIT, you know, Association of Veterans of Igbo in Diaspora, you know, and many of these other guys. Kudos to all of us, and the fight has just started.
That's the man speaking. He's from Benue. And at the end, he mentioned some of the people who helped him to get to where he needed to get help for his people in Benue, were some Igbo army veterans. If I were in the army, in the U.S. Army, I would do exactly what those Igbo veterans did and more. Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government is a disgrace to progressive leadership. Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government, along with the Buhari government and many in the past, have been complacent in helping terrorists massacre Nigerians. I too welcome anything any outside influence can do to bring peace to Nigeria. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu's bigots don't like it, they know where to kiss. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bull Talk on Allen TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
We've undertaken to make a difference. Our foundation is passionate about empowering communities and fostering growth. We are grateful for the opportunity. We invite you to follow us on our social media, Facebook and Instagram at Munacha Charity Support Foundation. You can also reach out to us via these platforms or through email if you have any questions. In the same vein, we'd like to extend our gratitude to all our supporters and partners.
From beaten pieces, a story began. One man with a vision, one heart with a plan. Ink-stained fingers, sleepless nights. Truth on the page, our people's life. Headlines faded, but the mission stayed. Through the storms, we still made our way. No corporate backing, no fame, no show. Just heart and hustle, and the will to grow. Be part of the call. Lift your voice and join the flame. 40 years we built this hope. Our story, our name. Sponsors